Chris, my man.
Yes, sir. Justin.
Thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate it.
No, yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I know we had to kind of jig the schedule around a couple times because you're doing some snow removal and stuff. I know that's not your regular jam, but, you know, when it's hard to say no to money.
It is, yeah, for sure, no doubt. Especially in wintertime, right, because we're a bit slower in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of had to make things work, right?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little intro. I just want to, sometimes I get ahead of too far away from myself and I forget. So just wanted to welcome you on, Justin from Infinity Fence Solutions. Sorry, I kind of fumbled that one. Infinity Fence Solutions. That's kind of a mouthful.
It is kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
I just realized that, actually. Thanks for having me on. Like I said, I actually did bring you one thing. So before we get going, I'd like to give this to you, bro.
All right. It's like Christmas. Oh, yeah, I love a good hat.
A good rule of thumb. When you come into someone's home, you always bring them something, right?
Hey, man, I'm down. I'm down with that.
Look at that. You got it on and everything.
That's
you
it.
actually look really good in that.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
You're my fence guy.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
That's actually funny that you mentioned that. Real estate, what you do, you must deal with a lot of different trades and stuff like that. Kind of going
all
through?
the time, man. Yeah, like my whole jam for my business is, I have the Halifax Network Podcast. I brand myself as kind of your network realtor.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is like I'm trying to take as much of the stress off buying a home or selling a home as humanly possible. And a lot of times that's like if people run into a jam, you got contacts. So they're not scrambling like, who the fuck do we call?
Yeah.
You know, oh, we need a fence. Oh, we need a roof. Oh, we need an electrician. And it's like maybe they can find that resource, but it's like, did you vet them? Are they trustworthy? Like I've got burnt.
Yeah, 100%.
Burnt by people I thought were my friends.
Dude, that's a good point. I've actually never, like, knock on wood, we've never been burnt on any jobs yet.
Yeah,
but,
good.
But it definitely can happen. You definitely hear a lot of horror stories about stuff like that. And,
Yeah,
like,
man.
we front all the material costs, you know, so you can get yourself into a lot of trouble that way.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that you've come across some honest clientele.
We actually have. We actually have gotten really good feedback from people, too. We really try to nail down the customer service. I think that's obviously it's a service business, right? So it's a huge, huge thing.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, I didn't know you at the time, and, we met through some mutual friends of ours, some great people.
Shout out to Zach and Kendra.
Yeah, exactly. Zach and Kendra
They're
out
awesome,
in
man.
Porter's Lake. Yeah, I mean, we were, funny story, I don't know if they've ever told you, we were kind of working on finding them a home.
Yeah.
And, it was a challenging time. It was like I think it was like in that pandemic period, 2021. They were getting, I guess, evicted in a sense. Like they weren't going to renew the lease of their apartment because of the dogs.
Oh, because they were using that as a...
Yeah, like the dogs never really had any real issues or complaints, but it's just the way people were starting to crack down with those fixed-term leases. They were like, hey, can't have the dogs anymore. And it's like, well, the dogs are their lives because I got two. My wife's out walking them right now, and like, they're our furry four-legged little babies. Yeah. So if we can't live here, or they can't live here, like we're not.
Oh, and they love their dogs.
Oh,
I
man.
mean, every dog owner loves their dogs, but they're hardcore for their dogs, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it parlayed into their business too. And that's part of how me and Zach actually met.
You were one of the first clients?
No, so my friend Matt Moorfield has a dog that goes there. And when they were just starting out, they didn't have their fenced-in area. Right. I was on the grind. I was trying to seek out work. So Matt had told me that there was a guy down the road around our age that was looking for a fence. I pulled right in Zach's driveway. Never met him before in my life. And I actually went to go knock on his door. 3 German Shepherds come running around, and I was like, I got back in my truck, no lie. And then Zach ended up coming around, big buff guy. And then we just ended up having a pretty cool conversation. I was like, man, I actually I kind of like this guy. And then we exchanged numbers, and he invited me over a couple of times, and we just ended up turning into a friendship, which is really cool because we were both just starting our businesses at the exact same time. Like,
yeah, man,
that was
my infancy stage.
Yeah, like it was like I went there to look for work, and I ended up finding a friend, which is really sweet, bro.
That is cool, man. Yeah, and I mean, their boys, it's Brady, Mosley, and Harley. Yeah. And like, if they come around the corner, you're probably getting back in your truck. But they're the biggest teddy bears ever.
Harley.
But like looking at them, you're like, nah, I'm not taking this chance.
I know, man.
And crazy. Then even Zach is like this big Jack dude, and he's like the biggest sweetheart ever.
Oh, he is a great dude. I'm going to his bachelor party this summer.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be dope.
That's
I'm excited,
sweet, man.
And then their wedding, obviously.
It's funny too because me and Kendra actually met at a Chamber of Commerce, like networking, like this yoga event.
Okay.
Like when I first got in the business. and it kind of the relationship kind of blew up from there. They got me, so back to the finding them a home.
Yes.
It was a challenging time. I was even, kind of pretty fresh in my business too. So, I was trying to help everybody that I could, and anybody that would take me on as the realtor. And then, we're kind of getting beat up and everything they liked, million offers, weren't getting it. And I was like, fuck, man, this is going to be a challenge. Hopefully they have the stomach to like go through this, because it's going to take a bit to get one.
Yeah.
And anyway, I remember like this one morning, I get this like video FaceTime call coming in, and it's from Zach and Kendra. And I'm like, fuck, they're going to fire me.
Oh, shit.
And
also, I love that we're swearing on here. I was like,
yeah, it's all good.
It's part
man.
of my
Like,
vocab.
just be you.
Yeah.
I mean, I try not to be too belligerent, but like,
no. But you know what I mean.
It's
When you're
part
being
of,
a bit passionate, sometimes
yeah.
that stuff comes out, right?
100%. So, and I'm not here to hide. Like, it's like what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really
Being
censor.
authentic.
Yeah, I think people want authenticity over everything.
100%.
Especially in all the bullshit going on. But anyway, they FaceTime me and they're like, hey. And I was like, hey, like, what's going on? Because they've never video called me ever.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, man, like, we just want to tell you, like, we've really enjoyed working with you. And I was like, fuck, they are going to fire me. But, like, we found this home, and I expected them to say, like, yeah, listen, we've, found this home. It's another realtor, got a good deal. It's always something like that. And they're just like, no, listen, we found a private sale. It's from I think it was the father's friend or the mother's. It was one of their parents that found the deal.
Yep.
Somebody that was kind of elderly, looking to kind of downsize. I think they were pretty well off, or at least like didn't need the COVID money.
Yeah.
So basically they're willing to sell it to us for like what works for us financially.
Yeah.
So we just want to let you know we're going to take it.
Yeah.
And right there, I was like, these are the most genuine, good people I think around. Because most people would have did that, never called me, probably ghosted me, never talked to me.
A lot of people have a hard time being very honest with people when they feel like they're going to disappoint them.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's happened to me multiple times. And it's like, a lot of people just don't want to have that conversation because it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
But they had, the goodwill inside of them to like let me know what they were going to do, because they respected the fact that we were all over, everywhere from Porter's Lake, Dartmouth, you name it, we were there, Sackville, anywhere we could find something that they thought might fit for them and the dogs. So just to have somebody to come up and be like, listen, like, we appreciate all the work you did, but we need to take this because this is the best thing for us. And my reaction was like, guys, number one, don't worry about me. Like, I super appreciate that you reached out, but if this is the best thing for you, then you should absolutely put that offer in and get it done.
And it's worked out beautifully for them because they're crushing it right now.
Yeah, and then they started their business.
Yeah, exactly. And the land that they have there, I know you showed them a property on Robberly Drive.
Yeah.
Before I live on Robberly Drive.
Oh, is that
That's where
right?
I'm at, yeah.
Yeah, we looked at
The
one
one
of the semis
up
there.
the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that place was a nice place, but the where they have now with all the land that they have, it just worked out great for them.
Yeah, and Zach's just a hustler. Like, he was working hard for that. I think it was a Acadian Sea plant, and they just kind of kind of axed him, right? And then he was like, kind of like me when I was working for my corporate job with Unilever. Same thing. I mean, I seen it coming more than Zach did,
Yeah.
but it still like it's never easy.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, go ahead.
But we all kind of had like similar things happen. This is kind of how I got into starting the business.
Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background? Like, what did you kind of do prior to, and what pushed you into getting into your own business?
Yeah, for sure, man. So basically, I started fencing in 2017. So I'm 30 years old now. So I was pretty much 22, 23 years old.
Nice.
And I basically started it because I didn't have a job at the time and I just needed something to do. I had taken pipe fitting in an SDC. It just wasn't for me, man. It wasn't resonating at all. And I was also really young. Like
It's hard to nail down what you like when you're that
young.
young.
I got in an SEC directly out of high school. So I was a child still, essentially, right? And I think it's changing nowadays, but the notion then was you got to get right into your post-secondary. I think I would have benefited from going to work for a little bit because I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy, obviously.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, I started working at Eastern Fence, and just one thing led to another, and I'm 6 years into working there. But during COVID, I got kind of hit with an ultimatum, I guess we'll say. And I know it's a bit controversial talking about vaccines and all that stuff, kind of stuff. But
Sure, yeah.
they kind of forced my hand and said that if you want to work here for the wintertime, you have to get vaccinated. And my personal beliefs at that time, and I believe that anybody's beliefs are their beliefs, and I don't look down on anybody at all. But my beliefs were that I didn't feel comfortable getting put in a position where I had to do it.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I did end up keeping my job. I didn't have to get it, but yeah, I've thought about that for a long time, bro. And it made me really realize that I wanted to have something for myself. Something that nobody can take away from me.
My biggest regret was taking those shots, bro.
Yeah.
Drinking the fucking sheeple Kool-Aid. Oh, man.
And like the whole thing is, I don't want to make it about that.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, I don't know. It made me think of life in a bit of a different perspective, because stuff can be taken away from you at the snap of the fingers. Anything
Just
can
like
happen in the
that.
world, and I don't want that for myself. I want to be in control of my life.
Yeah, 100%, man. And just like, and exactly, we won't dwell on that too long, but like, it's just like everybody just complied.
Yeah.
That was the most disappointing thing. It was like, oh no, they're looking out for our best interest. And it's like, but if you try and look at things like from a critical standpoint and like do some critical thinking, it's like, do they?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, I did it for the same reason. The real estate board was like, if you want to show homes, you got to get it. And I just got in, and I was like, well, I just got in. I'm spinning my wheels, but I'm getting some traction. So I can't just like buck the system without, a little bit more tenure. So I decided it was the right thing to do, but I honestly hate myself every day for doing it, because it's like generally not me. And yeah, but it is what it is. So tell me about what was the first year you guys got going? Like, what was that was the start of the story.
That was the start of me realizing I wanted more, but there was still another, I think, a year and a half gap before we actually started the business, me and Ian. So like, it was something that we were talked about, but like, a lot of planning and a lot of like going within too, because it's a big step to take. Like, you really gotta, I don't want to say quote unquote in my position, man up a lot, because it's a lot of unknown and uncertainty, right?
Starting any business, it's like, how can you?
Oh,
you can't predict the future. You don't got a crystal ball.
I was supposed to quit my job for about a month straight, and
you just push.
Yeah, it was, but then it was really liberating when I actually finally did it, and I left work that day, and I just had a sense of almost like a relief, and like a new chapter of my life was starting, and I've really tried to embrace that.
Nice. What would you say have been some of the two best or biggest learnings that you've had, like, since you started, and what would have been like maybe two of like the biggest hurdles of like finally taking that jump and going out on your own?
The one big hurdle is fencing actually runs in my family. So my uncle was the general manager of Eastern Fence.
Oh, okay. So was there a little hardship there?
I don't know if there's necessarily. I don't really know, to be honest. We haven't really had a good conversation about it. I don't know really where my uncle stands on it, but he lives, dies, and breathes Eastern Fence.
Okay.
And like, I have nothing bad against Eastern Fence at all. They actually taught me like, hard work. So like, I have nothing bad to say about them at all. It just goes back to me wanting something for myself, and that's just a selfish decision that I wanted to make.
I mean, maybe some people would view it as selfish, but I think, this day and age,
for sure,
there's only you looking out for you.
Exactly.
So you got to make sure like number one's take. Yeah, 100%.
We only have one chance at this life, right?
That's it.
And that we got one shot. So
you can still be selfish in your pursuit of your own journey.
Yes.
And still be like a good selfless kind of person.
Exactly.
So there's like, people take that out of context, I think. It's like, you got to go after your goals because nobody else is going to do it for you.
100%, bro. I love that. And then I guess the second biggest hurdle was I went full time on the business in October. We have no name, really.
And a bad time
of year. But that's just kind of how life worked out. And then, but I actually love how it worked out like that. I was all winter. I was like, man, is this going to work out? Am I going to be able to do this? I'm like, I'm waiting for spring. I want this to come. Like, I'm anticipating, and I want it so bad. And I'm like, in your brain, you're thinking, is this going to pan out? Did I make the wrong decision?
Right.
And then there's like, I have a lot. Like there's a big circle of people that I have at Eastern Fence that's not the office staff and all that. And there was a lot of rumblings like, "Oh, that won't last." You hear all that doubt.
Oh yeah, the old rumor mill coming from the old peanut gallery.
I fed into that, man, and that's
you got to lean into.
You got to. I love it, and now we're here, and we made it through all this winter. We had work for the winter. I mean, obviously, we had the ice storms and all that. We weren't going out for that, obviously.
Yeah,
but. No. Yeah, and then what was the other question?
What was kind of like your biggest aha moment? Like, we fucking made it. Like, we're getting, you walk through the fire, the slow season, starting your business, and now you're starting to see the crest of the hill, the light into the end. When was that? When did you start to see, like, oh, shit, Justin and who's the partner? Ian, yeah. We're going to make it.
I think we're all just trying to make it every day still, you know what I mean? Like
every day.
But like I do feel like, we've made it through 2 winters now. We're still going. We're getting crazy good feedback, especially I'm pushing the Google reviews like crazy.
You got to do that.
It's making a big difference, man. And that's kind of it. The note, like what we're getting, the feedback that we're getting back from customers, that's kind of like where I'm like, okay, we got some traction here, like people talk, especially people want to work with people who they trust. And if you have a friend that got a fence from us, or any contractor you did plumbing, electrical, if they trust someone, they're going to refer you to their friends or anyone that's ever looking. The community pages, I find people will go on their community pages and say, looking for a fence installer, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll just start tagging us. We've been getting tagged like crazy in that. So that's kind of like we're doing something right. We're putting one foot in front of the other, and we're improving.
What would you attribute that to? I know you mentioned Google reviews and not to talk bad or anything about your past employer or the other people in the industry, but do you find, like, I know you guys are super active on social media, you're showing your jobs, you're getting the Google reviews, so your SEO must be a lot better. And if you don't know what SEO is, search engine optimization, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like if you look up fencing Halifax, like you're hoping Infinity Fence Solutions pop up at the top.
Yeah, so I have hired a guy to do a lot of my marketing. Shout out to Devin. He's the man.
Nice.
So he takes care of my social media for me, because that's one thing.
Where's his at? Does he have an Instagram, or just to give him a little bit of a
it's Untapped Marketing.
Untapped
on
Marketing.
Instagram, yeah.
And Devin or Dav?
Devin
at Untapped Marketing.
Yeah.
So shout out to Devin.
Yeah, he does all my social media stuff. He runs all my Google ads and stuff like that.
Nice.
I was trying to do it out on my own, but I was spending a lot of money and not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and you get it's the age now. You got to be on social media, and it goes back to what you said. I am trying to take the social media route, and part of coming on the pod, bro, is kind of like trying to get myself out of a shell a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, trying to get out there.
I don't know what shell you're in. You seem like you're pretty good in that seat.
Well, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Good. No, it's been something that I've been anticipating wanting to do for a long time, something like this. So when you asked me to come on, I was like, hell yeah. Made my heart beat a little bit.
Hey man, there's nothing I love more than that.
Even when I first sat down, I put the headphones on, you started talking, I was like
a little nervous.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing though, right?
If you're not nervous for new stuff, there's something wrong with you, I think.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try some new stuff. I don't want to just do the same thing over and over again, replay the same life all over, right?
Yeah, a bit of an experienced guy.
I'm trying to be.
Yeah. So do you find you kind of got the leg up in the social media sphere? Like, I definitely see like your stuff popping up. I mean, we've been following each other since we've met at Zach's and stuff. But I mean, I do like. I don't like to shit talk people, but like. Our fence fell over, and this was pre us knowing each other, and I think before you actually got in the business.
Yeah.
But we had a wooden fence around the backside of the house.
Sure.
We got 2 dogs, fell over.
Yeah.
In a windstorm, so we're like, fuck, got to get it done. Got 2 dogs, not getting wood because you just had a call before we got started. It's like wood's about worth as much as gold.
Yeah, it is, man. Well, yeah, it's crazy.
So, I was like, I need a fence, and like, ended up going with Citadel, but like, I tell you what, if I didn't already give them the deposit, I would have canceled it altogether because I found it was the worst customer service experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
Now, the workers that come, they put that fence in the ground and got her done just like that. They were great. But the fella that runs their sales and bookings, I don't know where they found that guy. If they just like, he was off a program or what.
Yeah.
But like, I had to call, see if they had availability, pay So he quoted me, pay the deposit. And then he's like, yeah, so just so we can come do it this date, but you're going to have to call us the Monday of that date and make sure that we can still get there. I go, you're supposed to call and follow up with me.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not how it works. I go, bro, I've been in sales like 12 years. The customer doesn't call to confirm their own booking. Like that should be, he's like, well, that's just not how it works here. And it was just like I was like, bro, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And anyway, I kind of just left it at that because I'd already, like, me and the neighbor split this part of the fence between us.
That's pretty common.
And then I did the backside because it goes across 2 neighbors and, they don't have a reason to have a fence. So they probably would have said, I just didn't ask. I was like, if I get one half covered, like, I'm just running with that. But I just found, and the whole thing was like, he's like, yeah, well, you just got to call and make sure, like, we don't have a bigger job that bumps you out. I go,
what?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Will you tell me I might get bumped? Because a bigger, what are you talking about? I give you a deposit. Doesn't that hold the date?
Yeah.
He's like, well, like sometimes stuff happens. I go, cool, but like you don't need to tell me that.
Yeah, I mean,
like I'm the customer.
Yeah, I can see things happening. Maybe like a rainstorm and stuff like that. You have to like maneuver to schedule.
Yeah,
but that makes sense. But to tell somebody that you're going to bump them up because there might be something bigger on the go.
Yeah, bigger commercial jobbers. I was like, man, I mean, I was just my 2 cents. Like you should not tell people that.
But to be fair, they're actually pretty active on social media. They got a pretty good.
Do they?
Yeah, they're one of the ones that they have someone that runs their stuff for them.
Yeah,
I think it's Kayleen is her name. She does a really good job. She does theirs in Sunbelt, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Oh yeah, Sunbelt's right across from my gym.
Yeah,
on Kemp Road.
Oh yeah,
or do they have
new
a couple?
one? They have,
yeah.
So,
they bought McFarland's.
Yes, exactly. So Citadel would be one of the ones that their social media is definitely going. But I'm trying to not get away. Obviously, I want to post my projects. But I want to try to start bringing people along. I want to lean into the talking videos. I see you do a really good job of that. And it kind of inspires me. I see anybody that's doing that kind of stuff. It inspires me.
I appreciate that, man. Well, something we could do is line up next time you have a job, like my videographer could come out and we could do like a little 30-second reel.
Yeah, we could definitely line
and do a little collab.
Yeah, we can for sure. We'd have to line that up with Devin. He has people too. So
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'll be down for sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Does he shoot the content as well?
He either hires someone to come or he has came a few times as well. He kind of runs it. He lives in Lunenburg, so he is a bit far away, but he comes out or he sends someone else to come. Mel Cherry is her name. She's pretty sick on Instagram. Man.
Worst case, we can use my guy, and he can just do the posting piece.
That'd be dope.
In terms of I'm
down for all the collabs.
Yeah,
man. I think it's sick. I think everyone's
the key to success.
Everybody.
There's enough cake out there for everybody.
That's
even other agents in the industry. I found it's such a I don't know, so cutthroat. Nobody wants to help each other, and everybody treats everything like a secret. It's guys, there's no secret.
Yeah.
Just treat people good, find them what they want, and give them a good price for it. And answer your phone.
Yeah, the guys that
don't be a douche.
The guys at Arcs and Fence, they're on that mindset.
Yeah.
One of their owners is from Porter's Lake.
Okay.
He also worked at Eastern, and they're a bit older and they're doing really well. And they're on that same whole there's enough cake for everybody. They help us out all the time. They give me great advice, all that stuff, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, man. I think if you're holding all the cards close to your chest and you're not willing to help, I feel like that's just gonna hurt you in the end. This guy's just in it for himself. There's nothing else for anybody else out there. So it's yeah. I mean, I'm just always kind of trying to look where I can help out, and even if it doesn't directly pay me out, I'm still happy to help. It's the Kendra and Zach thing. It's guys, get that house. If it's the one you want and it works for you, I'll find another set of clients. I'll make it.
Yeah.
Get the house.
Get the house, yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I wish I would have been able to find you one, but at the end of the day, if you get what you want, that's what I want. That's it.
How have you found the videos have helped your business grow? Is it making a big difference? I see that your personal social media is pretty happy. You almost got 10,000 followers. That's dope.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And that part is also crazy to me because it kind of just happened like that.
Did it actually?
I started off in a bit of an advantageous position because I used to do some bodybuilding and some powerlifting, so I amassed some following from that. Okay. But I think since I've been posting the real estate stuff, probably most of them have kind of died off. So I had probably 3,000 or so followers, and that was just from I started when I first started in real estate, I had like 1,500 or something, and it was just like, just putting the reps in.
Yeah.
And like, you look at some. I didn't delete the old stuff. Go look at some of the old stuff. It sucks. Like I'm trying anything. Like I'm wearing weird hats or toques, or like playing off like when Team Canada was playing like for the juniors, and like trying to grab your attention or learn how to like hook people to like watch the video, or like I'm trying to make silly weird songs, or like, I did one with like the Beamer, Benz and Bentley song. It's just like ridiculous. But like I just like come to a point where I told you I had all this stuff was sitting in this closet for like a while.
Yep.
Like probably a year. And then finally, like one new year, I was like, no, you're doing it. To answer your question, I think in the first couple of years, I wouldn't have had any business if I didn't have any like presence on social media.
Yeah.
And, I even have like, I'm on my way, but I'm not quite at the top.
Yeah.
But I have like, Donna Candelora. She's like always in the top 3.
Okay.
And she was like, stop like coming in the office. She's like, hey man, just want to let you know, like I see your real estate content is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like love it. And like, I'm getting feedback from senior agents, the brokers, even my jiu-jitsu gym. They're like, oh, you're the real estate guy.
Sick.
And I'm like,
yeah,
it is I am him.
Did you look at my personal Instagram? I have it in there as the fence guy.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
I'm going to slowly start trying to make that the thing.
You should be.
I think it's sick.
Should be the fence guy,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it just kind of like started like, and I don't know if it's the same in every industry, but I find like, at least in mine, and I thought like some of my best friends, closest friends, like I thought like it would all have my back. Almost none.
Really?
Almost none.
Okay.
Because I think they kind of like, and I don't know what they were thinking. This is all pure stipulations of people get mad, whatever.
Sure.
But it's like, I think everybody likes to support you until they think you're doing better than that.
Oh, that's great, man. Me and my buddy Mike were talking about almost the exact same quote.
Like I had a little seafood peddling business. Guys like sell seafood out of the back of their truck.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of started that pre-losing my corporate job. Because I grew up lobster fishing.
Okay.
That's what Dad was doing. And Dad since sold out, retired, and his buddies do it. But they've been doing it a while. But he's like, you think we could do that in Halifax? I was like, yeah, I'm sure we could. But I wasn't super interested at the time. And then I kind of got a little bored. So I was like, fuck it. Let's give it a try. All those friends buying like $30 bag, there's 3, 4, 5 pound bags of fish all over it. But when I started selling $500,000+ houses, crickets. Even some of them used me, fired me, or like, went and bought with another agent, like ghosted me, like made up some story. Like, oh, we thought we had to use the agent in the area. It's like, well, you guys didn't even answer the phone and call. But anyway, I'm getting away from myself. But I think part of it is like people just like either they don't like to see you pursuing something they didn't have like the gusto of their own to like get after.
Yeah.
Or they want to see if you're even going to be any good. And like, let's just see if this guy like makes it before we
embrace him.
Like he's maybe too new.
Yeah. Do you think that comes out of ego?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think maybe mine and maybe on the other side as well. I think there's definitely some ego involved. I mean, there's a lot of ego in the industry for sure. It's a lot of like, look at my listing, look at what I got my buyers, look at like my fancy new car or whatever. So yeah, there's definitely some ego in the real estate world for sure.
Yeah,
but social media, like we had some guy, I forget his name. I just in one ear out the other, because it's just like this guy that's been in the business for years and he doesn't really do social media, so he never has really great stuff to say about it. And it's like, you should be doing more of the traditional door knocking, open houses, cold calling. And he's like, social media works, but for what it is. And I'm like, no, it works like very well. The first year, like I started doing tips and tricks videos, and like it was just like seemed like every other day it'd be like, hey, seen your video, like seemed like you know what you're talking about. Can we go see some houses? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So it was like, once you've seen some of the like drip from the success, it was like, well, it's crazy to not be doing it, even if it's not like consistent.
Yeah.
Why would you not do something that provides you like, even if it's 2 or 3 leads that close or jobs that you end up getting, like that's 2 or 3 more than you would have had if you didn't do it.
Exactly, bro.
So why not do it all?
Exactly.
I think people are just scared.
Yeah. People don't understand the power of social media these days.
Yeah, and that's the part where like I had all this stuff sitting in the closet.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm stupid, or I'm not gonna be good at it, or nobody's gonna want to come talk to me. Meanwhile, you're like, oh man, I couldn't like wait to get over here.
Yeah, I was chomping
And
at
like,
the bit.
But I think that's been the most overwhelming part of the journey. It's like, I think there's like maybe 5 people that said no.
They actually just straight up said no.
Yeah, not our thing, or not interested, or, you know, stuff going on. You know, they were kind of a little hesitant with the political landscape. I don't know. Like, some people use any excuse to not come. But for the most part, people are like, yeah, no, fuck, yeah, let's have a chat. Because it's like, I don't know. I think it's cool. I enjoy it. It's like you get to know a little bit about the person, their journey. You know, everybody struggles. And I think, like, that's important to hear about.
Yeah.
Because we live in those little tiles on Instagram.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, look at the awesome fence Justin just built. Meanwhile, they don't know how many hours it took to grind to be able to even get that job.
Exactly. 100%.
You know? It's like people are stuck on all the highlights. It's like, you know, it's like, well, you just told me sitting there that you started in the fall, the worst time of year, and like all fall, winter, you're like, man, are we going to be able to do this? Yep. And then it happened.
Exactly. It's a pretty beautiful thing, man. It's pretty sick.
What would you say was like the one thing that kept you going?
Definitely hearing the people with doubts, including family and everyone.
You had some family doubting you too.
Yeah, 100%.
Made the wrong move. Yeah, you had a good job. Yeah, why'd you quit?
100%. All of those things. Definitely not like my mom. My mom always believed in me for sure.
Yeah, mom always does.
Like grandparents and stuff like that. Just a little bit doubt, but that's fine. They should doubt because it's stepping away from the norm. For sure, like embarking on opening a business. Most businesses, I don't want to spit out statistics or anything like that because I don't actually know. But a lot of people fail within the first year for sure.
I think it's 50%.
Is that an accurate
I think
thing?
It's like, I think that might be a little bit more tied into the restaurant industry from the one stat that I grabbed. But I think in entrepreneurship in general, I'd be shocked if it's not close to 50%. It's over 30 for sure that fail in the first year.
And I'm definitely on the side of embracing that. You know, there's good times to come and there's going to be bad days too. And that's okay. That's all part of growing.
You got to be there for it.
Yes.
You know, you got to find some joy in all of it. And listen, my wife probably she does watch this. Yeah. And she'll probably laugh because she's been telling me the other day, because like I'm doing better than ever, like business wise.
Yes.
And I was telling her the other day, I was like I still want more. She's like, yeah, Chris, I was afraid you were going to say that. She's like, I need you to find something that you can just focus on to be happy, because I know you're a performance guy, and once you hit milestones, it's going to be like, okay, well, that's not good enough now. Where's the next one? So she's like, I just can't have you going out of your mind till the end of time or the end of your life, like just chasing these numbers.
It's the journey though for you, I think.
It's the journey.
Yeah, you are enjoying the journey. That's why I see that in you right now. It's not that you're not looking at the destination, because the destination is always going to go back. You're enjoying the journey. You just want more of it. That's kind of where I'm at, bro.
100%. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like when you can just be like, I love what I do and I'm having fun.
Yeah.
And like right now, I'm having fun. People are like, oh, aren't you working all the time? Or like, but it's like, I love it.
Totally different landscape when you're doing something for yourself.
Yeah, man. So a bit more back to you, like business wise, like, you know, for people that are watching, like, what's the most common type of fence you're doing out there?
The most common type of fence we're doing is definitely chain link, just for the simple reason that we talked about. Anything other than chain link, I mean, obviously our services are still quote unquote expensive. Nothing's cheap these days. Materials, labor, fuel, rental fees, all that kind of stuff. But chain link is definitely on the cheaper side.
Yeah.
But we do wood fences. We would do ornamental, PVC. We haven't gotten any of that. That's mega expensive.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what we're doing right now. And then, you know, we're working on some cool collabs too right now. There's nothing that I'm going to share right now. It's going to be something, secret stuff that I'm super pumped about. Probably coming around springtime, I'd say.
Sweet.
So yeah,
for the spring market.
Yeah, for the spring market for a little. So I'm going to have a little teaser for it.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Sure.
For sure.
I'm super pumped about it. It's sick.
Yeah, man.
It's sick.
Your enthusiasm overall is pretty contagious. So like, I'll be keeping an eye for sure.
I love that.
Yeah, man. So chain link's the most popular, obviously the more cost effective, probably, if I'm guessing, the most durable, and probably has some of the most
definitely
the best longevity.
You nailed it on the head there, brother, because, you know, wind, because you had the wood fence back there, like you said,
it's catching wind,
and like wood rots over time, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Rot right down to nothing.
So we actually put steel posts in the ground now, and we build a 6x6 box that slides over it. because the steel is never going to rot, right?
Right.
So, and then it almost makes it like Lego too, in a way. Say if a tree fell on your line, as long as it didn't damage that post, or even if it did, you could take everything apart and repair much easier. If you had
you're not out of the whole length of fence.
Exactly. If you had a 6x6 post dug in concrete and that snapped off, and you're pulling the footing, you're taking this apart. So it makes it a lot easier that way. And
it's kind of like the fence on this side when that goes. They got it just like you can see they didn't go far enough down below the frost line.
The heaving,
and it's coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, sorry.
No, that's a good point. You're seeing things that I see all over the place.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, you will see when you look around at wood fences, like very common when they're in concrete, and it's a wood post. Over time, the really older ones, they're all cracking at the base. They're all rotting out.
Yeah, like the fence we had here must have been the fence they had since day one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking.
So I mean, that wouldn't even come down to the installer at that point. I mean, they did their due diligence back then. They put it in concrete.
No, that fence owes me nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It kept my first dog in the yard. It kept most of my other dogs in the yard till the boards started falling out. One of my guys super curious, and he'd go out for a little stroll before I noticed he was gone. But.
You speak about dogs, I'd say, and this is just me spitballing, it must be 75% of the at least chain link fences we put up is for dogs.
Yeah,
so we love dogs here too.
Yeah. And you guys did an awesome job doing Zach and Kendra's fence.
Yeah, that was a bit custom. So actually, we can lean into that a little bit. Like I said, I had gone down to Zach's to like sod out work.
Yeah.
And I ended up just helping them out. Like I wanted to. Me and Zach went down there and we were digging holes and we just had a great day. It was like I don't know, it wasn't the first day I ever met him because I went over there and had a barbecue. They invited me for a barbecue. Nice. And then after the barbecue, I was like, hey man, I originally came down to your house looking for work. I was like, I'd love to just help you out, get going. We're kind of in the same position. I was like, on evenings and weekends, I'll come down and let's get this going for you.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
And you guys took good videos and stuff of that being done, right? Or at least Zach, I think.
I was more of a custom kind of design than I would normally do with the wood frame and the chain link. We would do a bit of that, but it's not like my bread and butter.
Yeah.
They wanted the sturdiness of post and concrete, but he needed to be able to see in with all the dogs, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be hard on fences down there.
Yeah. I bet you he's going to be, I don't know how many dogs they can take on, but
yeah,
I'm sure if they're going to grow, they're going to either have to move locations or
they have a lot of land
get another fence. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I said, they're going to be hard on fences because there's so many dogs there. They're jumping up on the fence and all that stuff. But I mean, it's going to be a great story for him anyway, because the more he grows out, the more he gets, he's going to feel more success, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you like? I don't know if you took a good stock of like the size of my property, but I'm assuming you're kind of doing regular size yards for the most part.
Yeah.
Like what's like a job like timeline wise? Can you pound one out in a day, or are you kind of a couple days getting after it? Or?
So another point too is like I'm mostly focused on residential right now. A lot of like fence companies that are quote unquote bigger, they have bigger trucks, bigger equipment, all that.
They're doing commercial stuff.
I'm doing some small commercial stuff, nothing crazy. I mean, I'd love to work towards that, but for right now, I'm doing residential. So chain link jobs can go pretty quick, but it all boils down to what's in the ground to get those posts in.
Right.
So, you can have a really bad day drilling and pounding posts, and it could take you all day to put it in if you're in like Lear UTAC or Bedford.
And you have one of those.
So I have, basically we have a pneumatic post driver, but then we also have a toe behind air compressor with a rock drill that can drill right into the rock. You can put the post in the ground. If you're in solid rock, it actually works pretty good. We have like a binding compound. It's called Quick Rock or Grout.
Okay.
And you can pour that around. It would bind you right to the rock.
And you're just never
coming. It's never coming.
It's going to break off.
If you're in a really rocky area, you'd rather almost be in solid rock so you can do that and make nice sturdy posts.
Yeah.
Sometimes fill and loose rock can be a pain in the ass, to be honest.
Because they'll
loosen over time or whatever. Well, not necessarily loosen over time, just getting it in the ground and making sure that it's sturdy, because like we really pride ourselves on making sure that when we leave the site, like I'm happy with what's done, because unlike most other companies right now, I know some, I think Arkson, they still go out and install jobs, the owners, but I go quote the jobs, I install the jobs, I check up with the customers, make sure they're happy with it before we leave. Sometimes I'll even call them after, just, you know what I mean? Just to make sure that, I got my name on that and it's my pride. So I never want to leave like something that was like shoddy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And like one thing that I kind of had to learn too, and I'm sure maybe you can attest to it, starting out, like you never want to make somebody feel like they're just like a transaction,
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, hey, I got your money, I did the job, like,
see you later, bye.
See ya.
Yeah.
Citadel did a good job. Customer service, not how I'd handle it. So I think, and that kind of leads into my next question, and maybe that's what it is. It's like, kind of what sets you apart from the rest of the competition, because you kind of mentioned there's definitely some competition locally out there. Is it the fact that you care and you guys show your customers that you do by following up, making sure they're happy before you leave, after kind of post-sale, see how things are going? Is everything still, upright, so to speak, and like still how they like it?
Yeah, in terms of competition, I think I'm trying to like not really look at it like that so much. I'm trying to compete with myself and be better every
that's
day.
Good. Comparison is the thief of joy. So
exactly right. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely look and I see, and I'm like,
we all do.
I have no choice. But like in terms of like a jealous perspective, jealousy is like the worst personality trait ever.
I think so. Yeah.
I try not to like compare myself too much to them. Sometimes I look at them like, man, they're doing good. Like I love when the other friends companies are doing good stuff. I love always like all the arcs and guys stuff. They're crushing it, and I'm happy for them.
So let me frame it in this way. Then.
Okay.
What would you say like customers like the most about your service when you leave a job? Like what would be some of the best feedback you're consistently getting?
I definitely try to like make sure that they are very aware of what they're getting and make them feel super comfortable with the job that's being done. If they have any questions, I'm open to have a full-on conversation in the middle of the project. I don't care how long the job takes, as long as it's done the right way. And then when I leave, we walk around. I show them how everything works. I make sure that they know that we obviously have a warranty. Chain link gates commonly come out of adjustment. I actually had a couple come out of adjustment this week. I go over there, fix it up for them. Obviously, there's no charge with that because we have our warranty. And,
right.
It's just like, the reassurance for the customers, because people do pay good money to have this stuff done. And I don't take that for granted at all either.
Yeah, man, I think you nailed it too. And I love that you said that. I think people being like comfortable and like transparency is key.
Huge.
Like, if they're spending $5, $6, $7, thousands of dollars, we'll call it, on a fence, then yeah, I think, and maybe some people be like, it's just a fence, but it's like, well, no, you got to understand like how, if you want to know how was it, put in the ground, what's the life cycle to be expected, is there a warranty? Like what is covered under the warranty? Like what can we expect as like a follow-up service if something, knock on wood, but like hopefully it doesn't go wrong, but like what if something does?
Yeah.
What if some weird situation happens? What's covered, what's not?
Yeah.
Is there stuff that we need to look out for? And then it just makes them feel comfortable about their expenditure, and they know that people, or that like you, can be counted on after the sale, not just I got your money up at your fence. Good luck.
Don't talk to me. I always tell everybody, I was like, I'm not running away when this is done. Like, if you ever need anything else, you got my number, you got my email, reach out to me. Don't feel bad about doing it. I'd rather you not try to fix something yourself. I'd rather just come out and do it. Get it done, and then we're good.
Yeah, man. I bet you that pays huge dividends just for people to know that they can count on you to come back.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not naming names because I don't do that. But like, I hear in the HVAC world.
Okay.
They're installing these heat pumps. They don't want to come do any service.
Yeah, because the heat pumps nowadays is popping, eh?
Yeah.
Like they're putting them in left, right, and center.
Yeah, and like they just want the installs where the money's at. Like to have a service call to diagnose something. It's like, I'm sure it's considerably less, but to your point, it's like, your name's on it. Mm-hmm. You're the guy.
Yep.
So in the fence world, like you want to make sure people are taken care of. And I feel that's like the best way to do it.
Yeah.
If you're not standing behind your product, then, what are you doing?
100%, bro.
And that's where that like transactional feeling comes. Like, it's like, oh, you just come and you did the heat pump and you're gone.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like, for people to know they can count on you, I think that's super important.
Because I'm trying to make more transactions from every customer, not just them. If the word of mouth is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I can make more transactions.
Yeah.
In a positive way, not just from one.
Did we start? So is this year 2?
This would be season. We'll call it seasons. We'll call it a season just because of the winter time. This is season 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned like, so the fencing, that's your bread and butter. I thought maybe you guys were doing the snow removal piece as well as an add-on when you're slow, but this was just kind of somebody called you to help out, and you're just kind of doing that. So that's really not part of the
the
part
snow
of the
removal.
gig.
I learned I originally thought that might be an avenue I could go down for the wintertime, but I realized this year especially that it's just not for me.
Yeah,
Just because you get called all hours of the night. Yeah, it's really hard to stay on a good schedule.
got to rebook your podcast.
Got to rebook the podcast 2 times, and I don't like. I try not to like letting people down. I know you probably didn't feel let down by it, but I really wanted to do it. But I'm actually happy now because I've actually been working on myself a lot the last little while, trying to get into the gym and work on my confidence and stuff. So I think it all worked out great. But yeah, the snow for me, I don't think I'm going to embark on that. The big goal is get enough work pre-booked up that I'm good for December. Have Christmas break, couple weeks. We were solid in January, and then obviously February we were pretty slow. I had jobs ready to go, but we were just pushing them to springtime. So that would be the goal. If I had to have a couple weeks off or a month off every year, I mean that's not the end of the world for me.
Sounds pretty good, really. If you got your bills paid and you're happy with your level of success and income, or however you want to measure that, like. And you get a lot of these like social media influencer guys, and it's like, balance. Like, if you want to be successful, there's no balance. But it's like, you know what? If you got a gap in your schedule, then like use that for your balance. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're happy with the state of the union and like how things are going, like I've had many a nights where I've just been sitting at that desk till like 8:00 trying to make something out of nothing. Yeah. And it's just like, it doesn't pay. Like, I could be hanging out with my wife. Like,
I love that grind, bro. Like since I install quote, like we do everything, right? We're all hands on, fully in. Like it's nothing for me to wake up in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, go get ready for the job, go install the job, come home, answer emails, call people, send off quotes, do up invoices, and then I look at the clock. I'm like, oh, it's 10:30, and I'm like, but I was like, I'm working, but like it doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah, because it directly influences your pocket.
Exactly. It doesn't feel...
or your partner and your
pocket. Exactly.
So so it's like, it's work, but it's like, it's fulfilling. It's yours.
Exactly.
And like you nailed it. Like, you just named like 10 different jobs you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you're the guy, you're the guy. You got to wear all the hats.
And to be fair, like full transparency, like shooting from the hip too a bit. I didn't take any, like I didn't go to school for any of like the business anything. So I'm just learning as I'm going, and then I'm learning so much. I'm like, wow, if I would have never embarked on this journey to start a company, these are all things about myself that I love now, but I would have never known any of that about myself unless I took that leap.
So it's been an overall like discovering of yourself and like what you're kind of capable of, and what's possible out there.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. That's the beauty of it, man.
Yeah. And you mentioned, I don't know if you want to talk about it, you say you're working on yourself, and like I've been on a big journey too. And I never mentioned, I know we were talking a little bit about kids and stuff at Kendra. So we're actually expecting our little girl in September.
Oh, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thanks, brother. Yeah. So it's been a while, and I've kind of been doing the same. Like I've been doing a lot of reading, self-development, personal development, like whether it's business or like at home. And the journey for me has been like to be better for my friends and my family and my clients, but more so especially for like my future daughter.
Sure.
And,
that's awesome.
Just to show up better for her and for my wife and family, and just, I don't know, just be a better person. Not to say that I was a bad guy, don't think that's true either. But like, I think if anybody's kind of sitting there saying like they don't need to improve anything, I think there might be a mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, what do you like to do to like kind of level up, so to speak? Is there something like you really kind of have leaned into lately that you've been seeing a bit of success?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, being authentic is, number one. I was going through a time over the last probably 6 months where I was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
And I just kind of decided that, that was, I got nothing against drinking. I will drink, but like the excessive. And I was, going out downtown and kind of doing that stuff. And then I just realized like, no, that's not my path. And then, I just kind of started hanging out with a new friend of mine, Mike Frank. He's an awesome guy. He's a barber, and he's like getting his personal training and stuff like that. He might actually be a good guy to have
Yeah.
him, like he's a wicked guy. That guy can talk.
Yeah.
So,
I'm into it.
So he's kind of like leading me into like, you know, the fitness world. Like I've always worked out.
For
Leading
sure,
me
you're a sizable human.
Try.
So I could tell.
He's just kind of like, you know, reeled me back in a little bit, and I'm just working on like good gut health stuff, like really trying to dial in the diet more than anything. I was eating like pretty poor for a while, and that affects your mental state more than I even realized. I was almost in a lull, and now it's been about 6 weeks of me just really trying, and that's a very short period of time. I'm down 20 pounds in the last 6 weeks.
That's
I
crazy.
was almost up to 250. That was really high for me.
And what are you, like 6'3"?
Nah, I got the heels on.
Nah,
I got the boots
I'm
on.
5'6", so everybody sees super
I'm
tall.
6'1".
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was a couple inches
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
so you know that's still considerably taller than me. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? 7 inches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6'3", 6'1". It's all the same from down there.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
kidding.
Right. But yeah, man. I mean, it's. I'm bad for it too. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, university and stuff. Like, you know, you kind of like at least for me, like I continued just that, like, and the people I hung out with too. It's like the university partying didn't stop until like.
Yeah,
Well, I had to stop it.
yeah,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was just like, you know, and the hard truth of it is you know, there was a few determining factors, and you know, if I'm being honest, could I have handled some of these situations better? Most likely.
Yep.
But like eventually, like, you know, I got my jiu-jitsu people, love those guys. I'd do anything for them. My hunting partners, same thing. Like, it's like a brotherhood. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
if you're not involved in something like that, like, then maybe you just don't know. But like, it's like hockey. Like when I played hockey as a kid, like, you know, your team was your family,
Yeah.
your team. Like you do anything for them. I mean, when you were younger, you didn't really have the ability to do that, so you had to lean on your parents and stuff. But yeah, so you know, you had to stop the bad habits.
Yep.
And I had to kind of sit there myself and take stock. I was like, so all these like friends you have, like, so what do you have in common with these people?
Yep.
And like, I do everything. Like I do jujitsu, I, you know, lift weights, I do running, I do hunting. Me and my wife love hiking, camping, outdoor stuff.
Yep.
And like, none of my friends have any of those interests. The only thing that we'd ever meet up for is to get blackout drunk.
Crack a top.
And then, you know, one thing leads to another. And then, and it was just like, you know, like clockwork every Friday. It's like, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? Are we drinking at your house? Or,
Yeah.
and like, if I take stock of my life, like, not that I've made any like monumentally super bad decisions, but I've made some not great ones.
That's part of life.
Right? Every one of those decisions was under the influence of alcohol. And like you, I'm not against it. I'm not saying I'm never drinking again.
No, I'm not on that path either.
But I mean, I haven't drank since New Year's.
So that was a Christmas party.
Yeah, that was just before. So like, I kind of went on this dry January. We were doing like a fundraiser for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And like my grandfathers both had cancer. My dog Thor passed away from cancer. So I was just like, you know what? I've been thinking about like taking a step back from this, and like I wasn't drinking a ton. Like at the end, like me and my wife drinking a bottle of wine, watching a movie. That was probably the extent of it. But like, I don't know. I got through January, and like the guys in the group I was doing it with was like, oh, I can't wait to have a drink or something. And I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, listen, full disclosure, like I do like to smoke a little bit of pot.
Yeah.
So like, you know, that kind of holds me over.
Sure.
Maybe that's the ticket. But yeah, man, like I'm just like, you know, the big like Remax or real estate awards dinners, and like people stay out all night and like just get sloshed and party. Like I do the dinner stuff. I stick around for a bit of the awards, and then I'm home now.
Yeah.
Like I like, you know, to your point, I like feeling good. I like getting up. I have a ton of hobbies. So if I don't feel 100%, then I don't want to do my hobbies. And then it's like just a negative feedback cycle. It's like, oh, you're a piece of shit because you got too hammered, and now you're hungover, and now you feel like you need to nap instead of do jujitsu or go for your run or your workout. And then that's just like a snowball effect. And you just, next thing you're just grumpy, and your wife's like, the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I borrowed basically joy from today, last night, and now I'm miserable.
Yeah, and it takes till like Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. I just turned 30, and the hangovers they're not one day anymore.
Yeah, man. I'm a little bit older. Like I'll be 37 in October, but like, yeah, can attest. They're just dragging.
Yeah.
And like, man, like I'll even go for wings and have like a couple, 2-3 beer. Like I still like to have a nice pint.
Yeah.
Especially on a hot day, and you know, wings or something. Like, listen, I still love that. But man, even after a couple pints, I come home the next day, I'm like, oh man, I mean, maybe the wings too. But like,
it was the beer.
Yeah, I'm blaming it on the beer. So, yeah, man, I think it's good just to take a little break, a little step back, and like,
100%.
you know, kind
Mental
of
fortitude.
take stock of what's going on and how you really feel. And until you start eliminating stuff, you don't really know if you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, hoping things are working out.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even realize, like, you know, what road you're going down. And then with this little bit of time off, I'm like, wow, I feel the best that I felt. I feel way more confident in myself, and even just speaking, it feels way better. Like I could just spark up a conversation with anybody, anywhere, and be confident in that area. I think maybe 2 months ago, maybe not so much.
Yeah, and that's a huge improvement in just a couple months.
And then it's how everything relates to what I'm doing as well. Like if I'm on my shit right now, I mean, just to be in good shape, you're confident. People feed on that, whether they know that they're feeding on it or not. Some things are subconscious. But if you're on yourself and you're very confident, people are going to receive that in a very positive way as well.
Yeah, man. Especially too, if like people are watching you, be like, man, Justin's out there. He's killing it. He's taking care of himself. He looks good. He feels good. He sounds good. He's like super enthusiastic about life. Like it's like it'd be crazy not to call this guy to do a
That's
fix,
right.
you know. And it's like kind of the same thing, not to like toot my own horn, but like last night I took a call at 7:15. It's like, hey, how you doing? It's Rahul. Rahul. I just met him, so I apologize if he watches this down the road. But it's like, yeah, hey, what's up? Like, he's like, yeah, I don't think we've met, but I follow you on Instagram, and like, you know, I just need to call you. And I was like, okay, like, what can I help you with? He's like, oh, I'm a mortgage broker. I run a team. It's like one of your clients just reached out to have another look at his pre-approval, and then I realized that you're good buddies with like one of my best friends, Jake, and he just bought a house with you, and I've been watching your social media for a while, and I'm like, man, I have to like call this guy and see if we can like see if there's any ways of working, like we can help each other out, referral-based business. And he's like, you know, when Nick called me and he said you were his agent as well, I was like, I know it's Friday at 7:15, but like I got to call and see if I can get this guy for a coffee next week.
Dope.
Otherwise, I'm just going to push it off. And it's just like that. It's like, and that was the conversation. It's like, yeah, man, just like see what you're doing. Your name's coming up. And it's just like, you know, I felt like I needed to call you. And it's like, I feel like once you just start doing stuff for you and working on yourself, it's just like the energy you put out there just starts coming back to you.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I feel like when you first start your journey or try to get going, it's like, you want it so bad, you can almost, people can see it. And it's like and part of it's like the worry and the panic and the self-doubt. And then, but like once you can kind of get through that and shove that down in a corner so it's not so like right on your forehead, then I feel like, you know, people start seeing that and they start gravitating to you. But anyway.
That's funny that you mentioned that, like 7 o'clock on a Friday, just committed to the grind. Like,
yeah,
like,
hey man, it's money.
It doesn't matter what time of the day it is when you're on your mission, right? I mean, obviously not in the middle of the night. You don't want to.
Yeah, I might have not answered if I was at dinner with my wife.
Yeah,
I might have texted and be like, hey, I'm at dinner. Like, what's up?
Yeah, so the wife, she's super supportive of everything for the most part, or completely, I guess.
Honestly, man, like we wouldn't be sitting here, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I got let go and I seen it coming, like I knew, like, big company, like they're always trying to centralize back to Toronto. And, you know, when I started in 2012 with Unilever Canada, I was a rep, kind of brought into the office to help with the ice cream business that got pushed on my boss's desk. And then, anyway, they started like cuts. It was like, first it was like, all right, they got rid of our admin, so no front desk guy.
Oh.
And then it was like 2 key accounts from the Sobeys team got axed. And then the team lead got axed from Sobeys. And then we're moving all these positions to Toronto. And then it was like, okay, lease is up for renewal. They're like, we're not renewing the lease, so you guys can work from home. And like a 20-year-old kid, I'm like, fuck yeah, work from home. Don't got to drive anywhere. But like, that gets long in the tooth real quick. Like, you know, I don't know. I'm a social guy.
Yeah.
So that novelty wore off pretty quick. But anyway, fast forward, like I'm like the biggest piece of fat on their spreadsheet over here as it is. And I'm making like a pretty good salary, like in the low 6 figures with my bonus,
Nice.
company car, you know, gas card. You know, they're paying the internet for my home office because we don't have an office to go to. You know, great pension, great benefits, you know, great everything. Like, and I could do that, like, you know, at the end of the day, like by the time they let me go, like I could do that job 3 days a week. I had just a system in place.
Yeah.
But it come summer 2020, my director I had a good relationship with was like, hey man, like listen, like I was like, it's happening, isn't it? He's like, yeah. He's like, end of September, you're done. I was like, fuck. And then I was sitting there kind of, stewing in myself. Like, he was like, yeah, listen, like, just answer the phone and the emails I need to. I'm not expecting you to, like, go to town for the team, like, on the way out. So he's like, just figure out what you want to do and, let me know if I can do anything for you to make this a little bit easier. Yeah. And anyway, I always wanted to buy, like, investment properties. Okay. And that was kind of an early on topic of conversation when we first got together. And I talked to one of my buddy from back home. He was my roommate at the time. His girlfriend's father was in the business. I was like, 23, just finishing up university. And I was like, oh, could I talk to your father about real estate? And she's like, oh, he'd love to. Like, every realtor would love to talk to anybody about real estate. Yeah. So I talked to him. He just kind of scared me away from it. He's like, it's all commission. It's long nights, evenings, weekends. There's no pension. There's no salary. There's no benefits. It's all on you. And I'm like, fuck, I need rent money, beer money to hang out with my friends on the weekend. I don't want to work weekends. Yeah. So anyway, and then fast forward to getting let go, I was kind of sitting in my kitchen. I was like, fuck, like, what? Give these guys like almost 9 years of my life, like best work I could ever do. And like, they're just like, this guy's just a number on a spreadsheet. We're just going to like give it to somebody else in Toronto.
See you, buddy.
It's kind of exactly. It's like, yes, you want to work in Toronto? I was like, not really. They're like, okay. So there's nothing we can do for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Toronto. No offense to anybody watching Toronto, but I need to be able to get in the woods like within like 30, 40 minutes or less. So anyway, she's like, listen, you always wanted to buy like some investment properties. So like, why don't you explore like selling real estate again? Like when you kind of like were first getting out of university. And I was like, you're right. So I jumped in 2 feet first. And honestly, I think she believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
And there's like some days where I was like, fuck, Caitlin, like, I don't know. Am I doing enough? Like, this is the questions I'm asking myself. And then I ask her, I'm like, am I doing enough? Because like, I'm sure you can attest to being an entrepreneur. Like some days you're doing work, you have no idea if it's going to pay out.
Oh yeah, 100% all the time.
Until it does.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, man, am I doing enough, Caitlin? She's like, Chris, I don't know how you could possibly do any more. So like, you just got to like, I think there's just a part of like, you got to wait for it to come. Yeah. Like you can't force it. So to answer your question, it was a long-winded way around it. She's my biggest, and at some points, maybe potentially my only supporter.
That's awesome, man.
She watches all my podcasts, which is, hilarious. She shares all my stuff on her social media to try and help, because like everything that I do it's for us. Mm-hmm. It's not even for me. It's more for her and a future daughter. Like, I mean, I'm living here, but it's like I'm always looking out for them and their best interest. I mean, my best interest gets taken care of as well, but I mean, I think it's just part of being a man. You just want to take care of your castle and your queen and your princess, I guess you call it. Duty. So that's the way I see it. I mean, some people might look at it different, but like now it's like, especially with the kid on the way, it's like all the little minute stuff that used to like nag at me and bother me. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Yeah. Because the only thing that matters is like, I used to be obsessed with like being the best agent in Halifax, which I mean, I'm super competitive and that, don't get me wrong. That's still on the board. Yeah. But it's like, hey, maybe if like I don't really hit that level, making enough money to like have a couple decent little vacations with my wife and kid and, kind of doing what I want within reason. My wife and kid think I'm a good husband and father. Like maybe that's enough.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Just winding down here. I know you're a busy guy, so I want to get you out. But like, I know you said you had some stuff coming up that you can't really mention, but you got any big plans coming up like in 2025 aside from that? Anything that you can divulge? Or I
mean, we're just booking out projects right now. We're full blast right now. Installing, quoting, all of that stuff. So we're just trying to get the ball rolling. We're trying to get booked up for the spring and summer.
Yeah. And what's the lead time right now if somebody needed you? Like, are you kind of
like not that far right now, 3 weeks?
Yeah. So that's good. So you guys got some availability.
Oh yeah, we definitely got lots of availability coming up, but it is booking up fast. So a lot of people right now they're wanting to get stuff done. Like we have obviously customers now that want installs, but I'm starting to get booked up for next month and the month after. People just filling in slots. So
that's nice, isn't it?
I love that because that wasn't real. That wasn't where we were at last year at all. I was just, like I said, firing from the hip and picking up jobs as I go every week. Now we're it's a snowball effect.
I'm still hustling, a little less ground.
I'm seeing the progression from last year to this year. It's like, okay, that last year we weren't doing that. This year we're doing this. Okay, that's pretty cool. And it's like, okay, how long can you grind for before, when I come to springtime, I'm already completely booked for the summer. That would be beautiful.
Isn't that great?
And the goal eventually is to hire a crew, hire another crew. I have lots of friends in the fencing industry. Some people have reached out. It's
scale that shit.
Yeah, exactly. People have reached out. It's whenever you could have a crew, let me know and we can talk. I'm like, hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, spitballing, summer intern for the seasonal work or something. Get some ambitious young guys that help you out.
I would love to get an ambitious young guy, man. So when I first went foreman at Eastern Fence, I had a young kid. He was 18 years old. His name is Jace McDonald. He was awesome. If I could recreate him and find him again, I would bring him along. He was just a sponge, and it's really hard to find nowadays, younger kids. He was 18, like I said, and just ambitious to work and learn. You don't get that as much anymore. It's really that's
be fucking influencers.
Down. Yeah, exactly. Same.
Right. I mean, well, listen, but we have a path.
Yeah.
But I'm down. Anybody that's young. I got this. He hasn't called me yet. I got to see. Maybe he didn't do it this year, but I got guy that aerates my lawn. He texts me every spring.
Yeah.
Just has a Civic, a little trailer, aerates lawns. He's like, hey man, you need to aerate your lawn.
Yeah.
This year, I'm like, yeah, front back. He's like, cool. This is the price. Just email me. I'll let you know when I'm coming. Probably being next week. And he comes, takes that, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
And it's my contractor, he's my good buddy's stepson. He's 23.
Yeah.
His biological father has been a contractor his whole life. He went to school, did the trade. One, he's way more mature than I ever dreamt of being at least from what he conveys when he's on site.
Yeah.
At 23.
Yeah.
I know a little bit of stuff because Grandpa's a lifetime carpenter and Dad was an electrician. And I say a little bit. I'm not saying I know much. But I can kind of tell when somebody's filling me full of shit these days. And he just knows everything. He diagnosed a few issues we thought we were having. His work's fantastic. So yeah, man, anytime I can try and hire a young guy, I'll, no offense to the older folks and people our age, but if there's a young guy doing good stuff out there, I'm probably going to hire him.
Nice.
I'm just because I know what it was when I was young and, you're trying different things or job interviews as well. Nobody really wants to give the young guy a shot.
Yeah.
Because they're all these fucking young guys, they're not going to work hard. You're just here to get the paycheck and bounce. And I mean, there's some of them that do give other young guys and gals a bad name out there, but there's some savages out there still.
There is.
They're the ones I want to find.
Yeah, same, man. I want to find I was talking to Ian about it the other day. I said, I want to find a young fella.
Yeah, fella.
I want to find a young fella. I want one.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I want to teach people what I know too, right? And it would be I know everybody's trying to be on the social media influencer train, and I would just love to have someone at my wing, someone that really bought in. I'm on the place where if someone grinds with me, I'll grind for them.
I think that's a great place to kind of end this
For
off.
sure.
So just a last little plug here for anybody that needs a fence. Where can they find you?
You can find us on Instagram, Infinity Fence Solutions. You can find us at infinityfencesolutions.com, or you can call me 902-877-3533. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Perfect, man. I appreciate it. This was great.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. You have a great day.